technical difficulty already.
No, Mike. Bye, Mike.
So you're just going to have to listen to me as I am. So, where was I? We're working on the project bag today for the Spoolie Bird. And did we bring the project bag in here?
Nope.
Okay, you guys.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because I can't find it.
Oh.
We had it Friday.
You guys, it's been a crazy weekend.
Oh, but there's a picture on the screen.
Oh, there you go. Look at the picture. Libby's so smart. We forget that she can do all that stuff. That way.
Up.
There. Somewhere.
We don't know. Other way. Somewhere.
You'll see it. So anyway, I don't see it. But what we're going to do is follow along. So if you have your pattern, of course, and you'll have your, take out your page that says Machine Applique Instructions. And the first thing we're going to be doing is building our applique units.
Now you want to say that you've started at the beginning of the pattern, so now this is for machine applique and on.
Right.
So you've already quilted your bag, you've done your paper piecing.
So those of you that are using your embroidery machine to do this, you may not want to watch this because
you can still learn something.
Because we're doing it the old-fashioned way, the classic way, like my way, gray-haired way. So anyway, what I have set up here to use this is my Caterpillar light pad here, and then I have my glass mat so that I can iron on this. I have a little iron right here and a little whatever
silicone mat.
Silicone mat, and then my fusing mat.
And you have your placement guide.
And my placement guide is back there. Yes. Okay, so I have everything here that I think I'm going to need. I've already numbered the little pieces. You know, they came in the bag, and then my pieces are right here, and I've numbered them, and I have snipped them out. So like the word spoolie and bird, the inside parts of all the O's and etc., I have removed those already. And I will tell you, it's very helpful to use a little sharp, tiny pointed scissors. See how tiny that point is? It really gets in there to snip those little tiny parts to get those out. Also, the other thing you have in your kit is the white, sorry, we're having lines coming down here. We have the white pieces of the applique for the background. And they, if you'll notice, they match up perfectly. Well, what I've done to make sure, I've put 2 arrows on the back of mine just pointing up so that I know when I'm going to use this, I'm going to have it oriented up. And the reason we gave you 2 of these is because it's a lining, so that when you put it on your background fabric, it doesn't show through. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, we have everything set up and we've numbered our pieces. So now we're going to...
Do you want your fusing mat?
Build our applique units. Yes, I will in just a second. So let me move those right here. And now Brittany's handed me my applique fusing mat, which this is the Precision brand, 12 by 18. I love this. See how nice that is? So underneath that, I'm going to put my placement guide, just like this. Okay? So it says that we are going to gather pieces 7 through 9. Wow, what's happening here?
There's shadows.
Oh. Okay, you guys, I'm in the window. This is where I like to be. This is where I sit and work all day. So we're just doing this in the window, so you guys are getting all my little craziness. Okay, so pieces 7, 8, and 9. 8 is the bird, 9 is his wing, and 7 is his beak. Right here. Brittany, if you'll open that drawer on my little sewing machine, please, and hand me my tweezers. I believe they're in that drawer. Yeah.
It's Monday, everybody.
It's Monday. She's put something in that was blocking my drawer. She didn't know I was going to ask for these. Sometimes when you're working with little tiny pieces, it's nice to have a little pair of tweezers. So that's what I've got going on here. So what we want to do is we always number these in the order that you're going to use them. So we have number 7, which is our beak for the little bird. So you want to peel your paper off and just give it a little crimp and you can get it off. It also helps to have a little trash bowl. I have my little bowl right here. So now I'm going to put this on here, and again, here's where my tweezers come in super handy. And this applique pressing sheet is so nice because you can kind of give it a little smush with your finger and it holds it in place. So now piece number 8 is the bird. And I'm going to put the little bird right here. See if I get him oriented just the right way. There we go. Or maybe Spoolie Bird is a girl. I don't know. Never really gave it much thought. Okay, and so now I can see through this blue on here to tell where the wing goes exactly, but you can also see with the wing up above. So if you line it up there, you're going to definitely have it in the good orientation, even if you can't see the bottom very well. Well, let's just use those tweezers to pick that up. There we go. So we're going to put this little guy, this little wing right here. So now I have my little steam fast iron right here, and I'm just going to tack this into place and tack his little beak under his head right here. I'm not really pressing the whole thing because this glue, if you press it way too much, you can actually make the glue disappear. Don't ask me where it goes, but it disappears. Okay, so now we've done that, and then we are going to build unit 2, which is 12 and 13. Those are
your
the
little
flowers. So we can actually make the flower right now. So here is number 12 is one of the a circle for the yellow part underneath. Get that off of there. And 12 is the top one, so we're going to put this little circle right here. Can you guys see that? And then we're putting 13 on top. Just this cute little pink. Right there. And same with number 14 and 15, which is the other flower. I'm putting my hand here like this because I do have this shadow or this extra light coming in from the window, which is really tricky. Makes it hard for me to see. Oops. Okay, so now I'm going to just make those be happy and stick together too. So now we have those. And then the next units is the which was that other bird, flower. Thank you, Brittany. And then we're going to combine the units. Now, when we combine the units, we're going to actually put them on top of the white base piece. So let me pull this off with my little bird. See how nice they stay together? These are so little, I'm going to use my tweezers to get them. Okay, so now I have my 2 white pieces, and see I did put my little arrows on the back, so it doesn't matter which one I take right now. I'm going to peel the back off. And I'm going to line this up right here. I'm not sitting on here. I'm not squared up very well with my chair. So there we have that. Okay. So now, I believe your pattern tells you
to put the next white piece.
I'm afraid I won't be able to see through it very well.
Well, then iron on that and then put it on the other.
That's what I'm going to do, you guys. If you don't think you can see through it, like, see, young people see through things better than I do. I'm an old lady with bad eyes in the first place. So, go ahead and you can peel the letters very gently from your words, spoolie. These are very fine little letters. And I can see where this goes. I don't know if you'll be able to. Can everybody see that, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So there's where spoolie goes, right there. And then I did not, one of the little tips too that I can give you is your circles for your dots on your eyes. You can cut those. I saved it until I need it to cut it, where I'm going to iron it down because it's so little and it's, you know,
You didn't want to lose it.
Easy to lose, and then what are you gonna do?
If they watch the embroidery tutorial, they can see me lose mine.
Oh yeah, Brittany lost one the other day.
And it was right in front of me.
But see, this is so tiny. This again, where these little tweezers come in very handy. I keep a pair of tweezers in my sewing rooms. Where's that? Right up there, I think. Okay, so now I'm gonna give this a little press like that, just to especially hold that dot where I want it to be. I'm gonna anchor this down really well. There, isn't that cute? I just love this font for Spoolie Bird. And now, that was, I think, 2 and 3. I think this one's number 4. Yes, bird is number 4. Well, actually, burr. Burr. Because the D is not hooked to the R. You know, R's are sometimes hard to hook letters to them. So now I've peeled that off. And there is my bird. B-I. Right there, just like that. And I'm going to press that in place. And now I'm going to snip my number 6, which is the dot for my I. I think I was supposed to put the D on next, but I'll be able to do that regardless of whether I dotted my I. Let's get these tweezers here. Put that right there. I tell you guys, this is so nice that this is cut with the laser, because I cut my original one by myself. It was not easy to do. Get all those little intricate little bits out of the O's and the D's, you know.
I must say it's pretty fun to watch you do this, Mom.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very calming.
Calming? Okay. There we go. That's one of the things I love about Applique. I just like to do it. Okay, so now we want to put our little bird in place up here where she goes. Now I've decided it's a girl. Hope I'm not sticking my head in the camera.
You're okay, I think.
Okay.
Are we okay? Yeah, you're good, Mom.
Okay, so now my little bird's right here.
Now, why do you build applique units, Mom?
Because it's easier to have it accurate, and you can't always see through your design well enough. Like if you're looking through this, and actually, you know, for this project, it's just a lot with tiny little pieces. It's kind of frustrating if you don't do them first, or even something with tons of pieces. It's just much easier to do it in units, and then you know it's a little more accurate. Now these little, just like the eyes or the dots for the eyes, it's probably easiest if you don't trim out your little leaves either, because these are so tiny.
I didn't lose a leaf.
No, you didn't, did you? Neither did I. I can't really see this, where this goes.
That looks right to me.
Does it?
Looks super cute.
Whoops. I dropped it. Guys, I hope you're not getting bored. I hope, is anybody there watching us?
Yeah, we'll go through all the comments at the end. Right now, we're going to let you teach us.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because the camera is above and I can't get to it.
Oh, okay. Well, my little fingers are not. Sorry, you guys. This might happen to you too, where you just can't get your fingers in there. Okay. Also, if you look at your picture on your pattern or your box, you can place this where you kind of want to. If you if you can't see what you're doing. Like if you have sun glaring in your eyes like I do.
I know. Well, we let you film in your awesome spot, and then
Yeah, I'm in my spot where I like to be, but it's not obviously not the best for filming. Okay. Now,
Will you explain the fusing mat while you're putting the next layer, just so they understand how this allows you to iron on it and still put it on your fabric?
yes, this fusing mat is well, I'm not sure what it's made out of. Do you remember, Brittany? Is it like a
It's
Teflon?
like silicone or Teflon or
It's
something.
I think it's a silicone base.
I remember they said these inside were special because they create little grooves.
Yeah, you can feel, well, it sort of makes a noise, I guess, but it's got these fibers going through it, which gives it strength. And they're pretty strong, but you can cut it with a rotary cutter. Ask me how I know. I ruined one of mine. But whatever it is, the glue will not stick to it, so you're able to pull it back up. And that's why I was able to build the units before on this, because it'll release it and doesn't hold it in place.
I guess Teflon kind of makes sense. Like nothing sticks
Yeah.
to Teflon.
So now what I want to do, and I don't know, does the pattern tell you to do this
I
here?
believe so, to trace your...
Put your little,
I think at the beginning we do that.
okay, well, I'm doing it now because I guess I missed a step. You guys follow the directions. But anyway, you're going to want to give yourself a little guide, unless you just feel like winging it, or the stems on your flowers here. Okay?
Now, what are you using to mark that?
I'm using a wonderful mechanical pencil. It's a sumo grip, which makes me laugh. I always think of sumo wrestlers in their diapers. It's 0.5. I like this pencil. I draw with this pencil. It's great. So anyway, that's what I use. You could also use a friction pen, and stitch it, and then when you press, you press it at the end, it's going to disappear. But if you draw that now and you press this on your fabric, it's going to disappear, which is why I have a tendency not to use those friction pens that are heat erasable with applique, because it makes it go away, and you went to all that trouble to mark it. And I like to give them their little eye right there, just to make me happy, like I'm dealing with a real thing. Okay, and I didn't read the whole thing about this.
You can trace that if you want to, or you can freestyle it.
Yes, I think this line that we did around, I did mine with I hand stitched it with 2 strands of the 30 weight thread to make the pink dash line around my scallop. You can use a fancy stitch on your sewing machine if you'd like. You can just
On the embroidery machine, I used a chain stitch.
yeah, Brittany, oh, it's really pretty with that. But you can do whatever you want with that to get that on there. It's just up to you. It's kind of, use your own creativity there. But if you want it to be just like the picture and like mine, I hand stitched it, so I would give myself just a few little marks, like lightly with the pencil, because when you mark with a pencil on here, it doesn't come off, so you're going to have to make sure that you do cover it with thread. So just keep that in mind. Don't draw a straight line.
And you can't use a friction pen because
The heat will make it
disappear. It will make it disappear.
So now what I'm going to do is peel this other one off, and I know that this is up, and I'm going to lay that right here in the proper orientation. I'm going to lift this up.
Now, why are we double lining it, Mom?
Well, I explained that a minute ago.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. But we're double lining it in case somebody missed it, because the background fabric that you use sometimes has a pattern, which if you're with me, a lot of times it does, because I like pattern. And so you can see through it, especially with whites, So now I have this lined up just exactly right.
And those are the exact same piece cut twice.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give this a little tack right here and tack it in place so that it stays, just so I can transfer it to the bag. Now your bag if you follow the directions, when you transfer this to your piece of fabric, your piece will already be quilted. I did not quilt my piece ahead of time for this demo just because I was doing other things. So I'm just gently lifting this up. Now on this placement guide, it tells you that you can line your fabric, the base of your quilted piece, up with this line, and then 1 5/8 of an inch up, you will put the center of your background double scallop rectangle. Okay, so for you guys, since I didn't want to haul out my big ruler and go through all that production, I measured it, and then I pressed it with the iron so that I would know where it was. Okay, because this is not going to get totally finished. I wouldn't do this way. I would do it like we said. But so now I know this is 1 5/8 of an inch up, and that's the center of my little scallop. And so now I'm ready to press it onto this background piece. Now remember, yours will be quilted and look all cute. We like to quilt it ahead of time because it looks nicer. Your finished product looks nicer than it does if you quilt it like coming up to it after
It's just a
you've
little
made
easier
it.
too.
Yeah, it's just easier to work with, and also you don't have to use a stabilizer because the quilted piece acts as your stabilizer for your applique. Now when I do this one, I am going to use a stabilizer just because there's not that much. Well, actually the thickness of this might help, but I like to use a stabilizer, so I will, just to make sure that it looks really good. Now it takes about 5 seconds when you put this on here. I sometimes just hold it and count, but for today I'm just doing it like this for you guys. But I do want to make sure that it's down so that when I stitch it doesn't give us trouble, because then I'd be embarrassed.
That sure is cute.
Isn't that a cute little thing? I think so too. Okay, so now you guys, there's going to be a little wibble wobble because Brittany's going to move the camera.
Yeah, and you're gonna roll
and
over.
I'm going to roll on over to my sewing machine.
So here the camera goes, everybody. Whee! And what I'm gonna do is be right here. And Mom's coming.
I'm coming. I just want to make sure I take my little scissors.
Look at these cute threads we're gonna use today.
Ooh, it's nice to get out of that sunshine. Okay, you guys.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so now if you look at your pattern, now we're ready to do the stitching.
I love how we give you this stitch order too.
Yeah, isn't this a nice little chart, and it's even color coordinated. So what I've done here is I have pulled out all the threads already. 1001 is the white, 1109 is the pink, 057 is the gold, which I think that's called
0567 butterfly gold.
0567, excuse me. 1095 is the turquoise, 1177 is green or avocado, and then black is 1005.
And these are you gonna tell us about why you're using 30 weight in the needle?
Because it gives me a nicer look. It gives it a little more dimension, in my opinion, when you are doing the blanket stitch. I like the way it looks. You can use 50 weight if you want. You can use 40 weight. You can use whatever you want. It's your project. There are no quilt police. I just tell you what I think is a suggestion on how to do it, and that's just how I do it. So I tell you how to do it, how I do it.
So 30 weight in the needle, 50 weight in the bobbin. Matching threads?
Yes. However, I don't have mine matching today, so I can keep moving for you. I didn't want to be changing bobbins all the time. And this is not a real project as far as it's not going to get finished.
Yeah, when we're filming live.
Yeah, it's not going to be finished. So don't do what I do what I say to do. That's what my dad used to tell us. But you'll want to match your bobbin thread. That way, if you're, for some reason, especially when you have extra thicknesses, sometimes your bobbin thread might come up a little bit, and if it matches, it makes your stitch look nice. Anyway, it's still, you don't see it, whereas if you do like white in the bobbin like I have right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will use an open toe foot. Oh, and by the way, the needle is a 90/14, and that is a thicker shaft needle with a larger hole to accommodate the 30 weight thread, which is larger and thicker in diameter than the 50 weight thread that you typically probably piece with.
Question, do you change your needle when you're done appliquing and go to piecing?
Yes, you should change back
Really?
to a regular needle. Yep. I have a 90-14 in here now.
Okay, so while you sew, I'm gonna put the camera in here, everybody.
Okay.
So wait, you wanna talk
do
about
it
your?
from that side?
Let me come in here.
It's looking, I'm seeing it.
I know.
Oh, that's how it works. Never mind, you guys.
Oh, I think I turned it off. Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
Did we do okay? Are we still there?
No, you're not.
Everybody hold, please. Oh, no.
Are you miserable? Can you hold it?
Oh, hold on.
I got me.
There we go.
Okay, guys, slight technical, but Libby's here. So, I'm trying to get you back.
There we go. Sorry, y'all. I hit a button.
You know how these buttons are. Buttons everywhere. Now for this first bit around the edge of the scallop, you can do yours with a blanket stitch if you like. I made mine with a straight stitch because, well, I don't like doing scallops with blanket stitches just because I can't always get it just perfectly angled just right. So I don't do that. I use a straight stitch for small scallops. Bigger scallops, no problem. But these little bitty ones, they can be a problem.
Well, and you can skip stitching the white all the way if you want.
Who, me?
And everybody.
You don't think they should skip the stitch?
You
the
didn't
white?
stitch it on your sample.
I stitched around every single scallop.
Oh, goodness. Sorry. No one listened to me. Look at that face, y'all. Sorry.
It's like, yeah, we want it to stay down.
I know. I'm having a moment. My brain is broken, everyone.
She's been saying that all day, you guys.
I can't handle it anymore.
She says, my brain's broken. Let's just say her brain had to involve some numbers today.
And once that happens, I'm done.
She's done when it comes to numbers.
Okay, so I'm going to try and be cool this time and get the camera in place without turning it off. There we go. Sorry for the bumps, everybody.
Okay, so what you want to do with this is, or what I did, I like to start right down here and, oh gosh, this bone. It's so hard, you guys. I don't want to get.
You want me to try and raise it a little?
Well, I just doesn't, no, I'm afraid if you raise it, I won't be able to see what I'm doing at all.
We basically, everybody have the camera in Mom's lap.
I just can't.
So y'all can see.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is moving my needle such that I want it to be about, maybe a little bit closer. Actually, on this machine, I think if I go to 8, this is a 9mm foot. So I think if I go right here, I'll be able to do this. Now, I'm going to slow my stitch down so you guys can see. And this is really just a straight stitch. The length I'm using is 2.2 because I don't want it to be too long because it will give me not a smooth curve. You know, as you go around a curve, the smaller your stitches, the smoother your curve looks. So, yeah, that looks like it's pretty good. See? And then, of course, you're going to pivot a lot. But you see, by moving my needle over, I can keep the edge of this foot right at the edge of the scallop. I bumped you again. Sorry, everybody. Oops. It's so nice to have this automatic pivot. And up and down. Where, you know, where your needle, if you can set your machine, where your needle stays in the down position when you're appliquing, and that saves you a lot of time. And one thing I should have done is, I thought this might work well, but I can see it kind of gives me a little bit of a pucker behind there. So it would have been nice if I put my stabilizer underneath this. But you're going to be working with your piece already quilted, so it's not going to give you the problem that I'm having by not having my stabilizer. Okay, so now, this is how I like to do these scallops. Now this is stitched just exactly, or pretty darn close to 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the scallop. So, can everybody see that? Nope, you cannot. There, let me see if I can get it in the camera. There.
Hey Mom, we have a question. Was the needle a top stitch needle? Will you talk about your needle again?
A 9014 can be considered a top stitch
Oh, okay.
needle. Yes. Yes. So, if you can see this, you guys, am I in the camera good, Libby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can see the stitching. It's 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Oh, look at that zoom. They're magic, these girls. Okay, so
That's all Libby. I'm just walking around.
I'm not gonna make you watch me go all the way around because it is a little tedious, and I think you might I'd lose you. You'd say, okay, I'm over this lady. All right, so Brittany, the
What
next
you want
thing
now?
we want is pink, right?
Let's do it.
That's what we suggested you stitch with. Now, let me show you what these threads that I have here. You know, I talked about the color numbers, but no, it has to go up there first.
Oh, I can't touch this machine, everybody.
Brittany's trying to help me thread it. The colors,
Yeah, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do.
yeah, this is 30 weight thread and it's sulky, but it's on these smaller spools. So you can have more colors for less money and still get all the colors.
And they're just the cutest little spools. Like, they just make you happy.
Yeah. Oh, now one thing you guys might want to be careful with, even on this machine, which is brand new, they suggest that if you're using 30 weight thread to not use your needle threader. That's why I haven't used it.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. It doesn't like it apparently. So, and I have a machine at home that I used the needle threader on and it doesn't work very well now, and I think that might be what I did. Okay, I'm taking my foot off because I can't see what I'm doing. Oh my goodness, this camera, you guys. I can't even see the hole. Brittany, can you thread my needle? It helps if you have a younger person with eyeballs. Good eyeballs. She's got the giggles, you guys, so she's jumping around. Can you get it in there?
No. Can you just use your thread thingy one time?
No, it doesn't work. I'm telling you, it doesn't work with this.
Do you want us to move the camera for a second?
Maybe.
Here, we're gonna move the camera.
Thank goodness.
There you go.
We're all gonna watch you thread your machine. It's hilarious. See, now I got it in there. I don't know, I can't see with that thing in my way. Okay, let me put my foot back
See this
down.
little holder, everybody? That's where we put the camera, so y'all can see her stitches really good.
I just can't see what
Mom
I'm stitching.
can't see them.
I can't. I'm like stitching blind, you guys.
Okay, you ready?
Woo. Yes.
Okay, let me be real careful.
So now we're on to pink. So guess what's pink? The words.
Let's do it.
Okay, so now let me change my machine to my applique. And then I'm going to choose my applique stitch. Now, do you want to shed this? Do you want to take it back out?
I would love to.
I know, you would.
I can show.
Oh, there we
Libby
go.
can. Okay, Libby, show him this screen here. Now, everybody's sewing machine is a little bit different. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, that's a good shot of the screen.
So what I'm choosing is, this one might be okay, but I'm choosing this one because it goes 2 stitches here and then it comes in and out. That one makes tinier stitches, I believe. So anyway, I always use number 7. I played with these at one point. But if you pick like something like this, you can see that double line. It's going to go back and forth and then in and out, back and forth, in and out. We want to choose one with little stitches on the sides because you get a better control of your applique stitch. Okay? Thank you, Libby.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Now, this is a very small, Spoolie Bird. You know, these letters are small. So we want to I'm going to take my stitch length down to 1.5, well, maybe 1.6. Let's try 1.6. And then I'm going to take the width, the bite end to 1.5. So let me see here. And then I like to pick an inconspicuous place to start, which is always kind of tricky, like where is that good spot to start? So I think in this particular case, I'm gonna start, and I'll tell you, if you started like in the middle of a stretch, it's gonna, you may not match up, and it might be real obvious that you don't match up properly when you get done with it. And actually, I think I'll just start right here. Let me just do the letter D for you, because that's one letter by itself. And then it also has an interior, so we'll do that. So on the letter D, I'm gonna start at the junction under here where the loop meets the downward stroke, okay? I'm gonna start right there. So now, I still have my machine set on, oops, I'm sorry, I bumped you guys. Sorry. The machine is still set on slow. So I've got this, I line up my needle coming right in where I want it to. I'm gonna drop my presser foot, and I'm gonna say, let's go, folks. So, take some tacking stitches here, and then it's gonna bite in. Now that bite in is really big. Let's get back out here to the side. So I'm gonna make my bite in just a little bit smaller. I might change my mind. Can't hardly tell, can you? But you'll see that what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep my needle so that it hits right on the outer edge of, it hits on the white, but right beside the pink. Okay, so right there, and then you're gonna pivot a lot. And you may have to do what I'm doing is just, you know, sometimes you just don't even use the motor on your machine. You're just doing the single stitch with the button. I use, okay, you guys can use your foot pedal. I like to, since I have the option, I like to use my fingers. I don't sew with my foot pedal. See, now that's coming out there, and then I'm going to pivot again. A lot of pivoting is very important. It gets you a smoother look, and it keeps your bite-in stitch coming perpendicular with the outer edge of the fabric, which is what you want. And pivot. Somebody's giggling. What are you giggling about, Brittany?
Like pivot, and if anyone watched Friends, when they're pulling a couch up the stairs, they say pivot, pivot.
Oh.
So the way you sounded just made me think of that.
Pivot. My sister and I took a class for making a bag, and I'm sorry, but I cannot remember who the instructor was. This was like at least 20 years ago. And she was so nice. She said, whenever you need something pressed, just hold your little thing up and holler, press, press.
Come here.
And so she would come around and she would take your piece and go press it for you, which was really handy.
That came from?
That's where we started saying that, because we got
every time I press, I go press.
Press. Yeah, we make a joke of that in our family, just because it was so much fun to have somebody do your pressing for you while you were piecing something. I mean, think about that. That was handy.
I like pressing though.
You do?
I really like using that roller.
See, now I got up here to the top, so I'm taking it one stitch at a time again. And really, you know, once you get your groove on, you can go a little bit faster. I'm just going slow so you guys can see this.
I think the whole trick to applique is like the rhythm of your machine, don't you?
Kinda is, yeah. I definitely think that about my long arm. So this is just like painful now. I'm gonna have to speed it up. See, you guys, you can go faster. Yeah. So just make sure that whenever you're gonna need to pivot and have a curve or an angle or whatever, that you prepare and get ready and slow down. Otherwise you'll zoom right past it and you'll be like, what happened? Okay, so now this is it's tapering, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. the bite end. There we go, just like that. And then I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna take another stitch. So actually, if you guys counted, there's actually 3 stitches holding that tip point down. And now here we go again.
Do you want to tell us about how it's okay to use different stitch sizes on one project? Like when you go to the bird, you'll probably stitch the bird a little bigger. I
probably will. And yes, absolutely, Brittany's correct. You can use whatever makes it look best to you. And of course, you know, your goal is, the goal with stitching around an applique piece is to make sure that it stays down. You know, so if it's a real tiny little point like that end tip, oops, sorry, bumped you guys. The end tip of the D, add some more stitches there, you know, take it small. Of course, if you notice, I did not bring this back up to the bigger length.
I will say, Mom, while you might feel like you're sewing slow, for someone who is learning applique stitches, it sure is nice to watch you go around something like this.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It is.
Okay, so see, now we've made it around the outside, and can everybody see that on the, let me see if I can lift this up and get it in the screen for you. Yeah, Libby's zooming again. She's so good at that. Okay, I'm looking in the camera here. Okay, see the end of this? Those are tinier little stitches around the end. It's holding it very nicely. And then, of course, I didn't lengthen it again because I wasn't paying attention. I was talking. But it comes around, and it's really not offensive at all, I don't think, there. But this was at a 1.6, and this is at 1, the distance in between. So there we have it. Now, the only thing we need to do is stitch the inside of this D, which I'm going to show you that. And again, when I choose where to start on this, you can start really wherever you want. It is kind of an oval, or it definitely is an oval. I just think, in my case, I'm going to start like right, let me get this thread up from under here. I'm going to start right up here. And I'm going to, before I start, I'm going to make this, I'm going to take it back to 1 is my width. Okay. Now, if I remember, that's a little bit fast. We're going to go a little bit slower again. And when you're doing little curves like this, there's a lot of pivoting. I'm sure you guys can tell when I'm using the motor, like the motor of the machine's doing it now. Now see, that bite went just a little bit in further than I would like. And then if you're like me, you might want to trim these little guys and get them out of your way. They obscure my vision. Okay.
Are you gonna tie your threads behind it all on this one?
No, I didn't. I just chopped them off. Because this is not going to get washed. Well, actually, this is not going to get anything. But if you plan to wash your project bag, which if you use it for quite some time, you may need to wash it. So anything that you think you're going to wash with applique, it's best to leave the tails on your threads and pull them to the back and knot them manually so that you know for sure that they are secure. And that way it will withstand those gentle washings. I always suggest a gentle wash. Okay, so there is our D. Can we see that again? Yeah. So you can see there's the D all finished. The rest of it will look like this as well. And I think you guys should have the gist of how to do this part. Okay, so now the next color that we're going to do is the do I need to do the little flower, the yellow and the pink? I think that's the same difference.
Yeah, do you want to answer some questions?
Sure.
All right.
I'm gonna videotape you here.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Hi, everybody. So, Jane says she tested doing the half square triangles with 2 at a time, and it worked great. So for those of you that didn't see the foundation paper piecing, you also have the option for, you have enough fabric to do the half square triangles pretty much any kind of way you want to, don't you think, Mom?
Well, definitely with, I'm sure that what Jane did was drew the line down the center and stitched a 1/4 inch on each side.
You'd actually end up with more half square triangles than you need, which is fun.
Yeah, you would have extras, and they're going to come out, which is part of the reason we did that with them being so large. We wanted to make sure that you had enough to make it easy if you wanted to do foundation paper piecing, but also if you're like the old way better than, or maybe just don't like foundation paper piecing for whatever reason, then you had enough to do it that way. So it's nice to know that Jane tested it out for us and she was able to do that.
Yeah, I love hearing that.
Yeah.
And then Becky asked if we're going to offer the paper piecing foundation paper separately, because it would be a lot easier. She has the Spoolie Bird pattern from all the way back in the day.
Oh.
So it'll be a little bit, but we will have that ready. We'll be able to sell a pack, because I know there's a lot of people who have the pattern from forever ago that are coming back. Hey, Buttons.
Sorry.
So Buttons is in the room with us. Do you want to say hi? Come here. Say hi. Jump. Come here. Come here. Say hi. Jump, jump, jump. There you go. Everybody, she got a haircut. Yes.
She has her summer outfit on.
So when she's like this, we call her Ballerina Buttons.
Yes, I know.
But she's in the room getting into everything today. Oh, goodness. Okay, sorry.
So
I just wanted her to say hi.
What else are the other questions?
Okay, Buttons, that's enough. Okay, Mindy said she just wanted to say that you guys have the coolest job ever.
Absolutely.
She says she's working on mortgage loans all day long. So boring.
Trust me, we know that feeling.
That is boring. I'm very sorry for you, Mindy.
That might be
very boring.
That might be why Brittany's braid is broken.
That might be why my brain is dead. I couldn't work with numbers like that all day. I just literally cannot. So I'm just saying. We answered Jane's needle question. Oh, Danielle said, is there a tutorial for the project bag using embroidery? If so, where can I find it? Well, there sure is. It's on our YouTube channel. And then also, if you're a member, of course, of the Spoolie Bird Club, it's with your embroidery files on that page where you get your embroidery files every month. And then we're doing a live tutorial for that too this week.
Oh, there you go.
I forgot what day. Do you remember, Libby?
Friday.
Friday, yeah, I think Friday.
So
are we doing that at 1 or are we doing it at 4?
Be sure and join Brittany
I think it's
Friday.
at 1.
I think it's at 1 too.
I don't really know.
We don't really remember.
We'll tell you.
We'll tell you before Friday. We're going to do it live as well, which will be a lot of fun. And we'll be back in my office for that tutorial. So that'll be fun. And then Doris said it's looking so pretty. It is.
Oh,
it was
thank
really,
you.
she said this a little bit ago. And it was really fun to watch all the applique units come together, I must say. And then there were a lot of questions about the fusing mat. So do you just want to, for people catching up now, explain how you're able to iron on the fusing mat and build your units and then put it on the fabric, if you don't mind.
Well, the way that works is because I have my light pad, which we use a Caterpillar light pad, and I do set it on the brightest setting again, can't see.
I use the brightest setting and I can see.
Oh, okay. And then what I have on top of that is a glass cutting or glass mat that's also from Caterpillar. Now, they maybe saw I was using. Should I tell them the story
Oh, what story are you going to tell them?
about the mats?
The glass?
Yeah.
You can tell them.
Okay. You guys saw my glass. What I was using was my glass mat, which has no grid lines on it. And the reason for that is because about 5 years ago, at least 5 years ago, I was trying to get one that I could market for everybody that was,
A glass mat?
I wanted to iron with the glass mat because to me it seemed to make sense. And so mine came from China, and then we ran into production issues and stuff. So anyway, I then found out that Caterpillar made one, so that's why we offer the Caterpillar one to you. However, theirs has a grid on it. So I apologize, mine is clear. It's the same thing, it's the same type of glass, so that's what I use. So anyway, by having that glass on top of my cutting mat, it protects my light pad. It protects my light pad from damage with the iron, so you are able to iron on it. But I typically do not put the iron directly on the glass, That's why I use my applique pressing sheet, which in this case is that silicone
The fusing mat.
Fusing mat, which is, it says precision fusing mat,
Yeah.
I believe.
Which in that box you actually get two. You get one that's Teflon, like old school kind, and one that's
it's
fusing mat kind.
It's a solid white, and I do use that sometimes. I really do. I like both of them, and I think it's nice that you get both of them in there. So when you press onto that, the glue in the Heat and Bond Light that we use, or any of the fusibles, does not stick to the mats, to the fusing mats.
It's like magic.
So you're able to press on it, and I just use like the tip of my iron where the joints are on the pieces that I'm hooking together, and I just press that just a couple seconds to keep it to stick together, so that then I have this one unit. Like for instance, right here is a unit of something I was playing with one day, and so this, I just tacked it together on a mat, and so it's been hanging around couple years.
That's been hanging a couple years.
It's been hanging. I almost feel like it might be dusty even. It's been hanging here for a while. This was just from a mug rug, I believe. Something.
Yeah, I think it was December of 2019.
Oh, there you go. 2 years. Well, a year and a half it's been hanging. So anyway, that's why I use those, because then you're able to lift it up off of there, and then you can put it onto your background fabric that you're doing for your quilt or whatever, and adhere it. Now you still don't want to adhere it or give it too much heat, because somehow the glue disappears if you overheat the glue on Heat and Bond or any of them. I don't care what kind it is. Too much heat will make it disappear, and that's why I only tack the joints together.
Yeah, I've personally never been able to iron it enough where it quits sticking, but I'm sure it can happen.
Yeah, we've heard tales. So
There's been tales told.
That's why we suggest that you don't do it for very long.
There you go.
Any more questions?
Let's see. Sorry, I'm slacking on the job. I put the phone down and didn't check. I was involved in listening.
I'm so windy here.
I like it. Let's see what we got. Doot doot doot. Oh, Jane said she didn't mind that she had extra fabrics because she can use it to put something together like a pincushion.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that would be super cute. I love that.
A little pincushion would be fun.
I know.
Buttons.
Well, if you're watching this and you're not a member of the Spoolie Bird Block of the Month, we would love to invite you to join. Buttons, come here. And then our next tutorial is going to be Friday. And then Tuesday, we're going to have our Stitch and Chit Chat.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
We're trying to be good and have those every week.
We're trying. The days just turn into all kinds of craziness around here, which is fun, but also sometimes just makes you tired. So we look forward to doing
breaks.
That. Yeah, exactly. My brain breaks. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining. I hope you learned as much from Mom as I always learn something, even though I've watched you stitch every time. I didn't know you changed your needle between piecing and applique.
Yeah.
See?
Because the shaft is bigger on the one for the 30 weight. The 90/14 is bigger, so it puts a bigger hole in your piecing. I mean, it's, you know, it probably really doesn't matter that much, but
now I understand. So a lot of times in the orders, people buy every needle pack, and I'm like, I wonder why they need all those. Now I know why.
Yep. That's why we suggested having them all.
There you go.
So I'm not going to show you, as Brittany alluded, we're not going to go through every little thing on here, because you really just have to follow the directions. You know, the reason we suggest sewing in the certain order is because it seems to make more logical sense to us, but it's the same process, whether you're stitching the letters or whether you're stitching the bird or the flowers, whatever. It's the same thing.
Just learn the rhythm of your machine and you're good to go.
I will tell you though, if you want to play with your machine, like so many of us have newer machines now that offer hundreds of stitches even, play with your machine a little bit and see what kind of fancy stitch you can pick out. There's a lot of them in there. You might find something really fun to put around the edge of your little pink part on your front of your project bag.
And you can always embellish it however you want, which is fun.
Yeah, or you can leave that part off.
There you go.
Whichever. So, anyway, as Brittany said, I hope you had fun with this. I hope I helped you at some point. And if you have any questions, just shoot us an email. At where?
At orders@stitchesofquilting.com, or you can just click on support on our website.
There you go. It changed recently, so that's why I don't know.
Both work, but just click on support and you get right to it. And actually, a lot of the questions are already answered there, which is nice.
Oh, see?
There you go.
We try to be helpful, you guys. So, at any rate, thank you for joining us today, and happy stitching with your Spoolie Bird.
Happy stitching!